Is it worth it to look for magic cards at thrift stores and yard sales and flea markets and stuff like that? Is it worth your time? Hey, what's up? It's Jared, the MTG Ninja. So let's talk about going thrifting and looking for magic cards. So last year when I got back into Magic and I was trying to build up my collection, you guys may remember I did some videos early on that were random buy videos and collection videos. And that was a lot of fun looking for different collections and trying to build up my own collection again. And so since last year, I've been going to all these different places looking for magic cards, and honestly, I haven't had much luck. I know when you watch some other videos on YouTube, videos by like Tragic MTG finding his collections on Goodwill, and Matt Caster Mage finding cards at pawn shops and thrift stores and stuff like that, it's really cool to see some of these other creators out there that are finding these collections. For me, it's been pretty hard to find these kinds of old cards and collections at any of the stores that I've gone to. So since last year, end of last year, I've been going to a lot of thrift stores, I've been going to flea markets, I've been going to yard sales, garage sales, estate sales, storage units I've been checking out. And honestly, I haven't had much luck. But the thing is, I actually like going to thrift stores and I like looking for deals. And I go with one of my sons, Joshua, because he likes it too. And so honestly, I'm not just going to look for magic cards, but we're just looking for whatever we find that's cool. But let's talk about the few things that I have found. So I like and I enjoy going to places like Goodwill and Savers, and here in Utah we have thrift stores called Deseret Industries, or DI. And so I like going to those thrift stores anyways, looking for other things like books and toys and stuff like that. And so since last year, me and my son have gone to basically all of the thrift stores in our whole area within driving distance. And the only time that I found something that was remotely close to magic cards was when I went to a Savers, and behind the counter in the collectibles area, they had a card box, a white like 1,000 card box. And so I got excited for a little bit thinking that maybe it was magic cards. And so I called one of the associates over and they let me look at it, and I opened it up and it wasn't magic cards. Sadly, it was Lord of the Rings cards. But that's the closest that I got at any of the thrift stores that I've gone to. And I've probably gone, I don't even know, like it's probably been at least 50 different times that I've checked, and no magic cards ever. And it's the same for yard sales, garage sales, estate sales, and even looking into storage units. The only place that I had a little bit of luck was at the flea market. So me and my son went up to the flea market a handful of times, and there were maybe 2 or 3 vendors there that actually had different cards, like Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff like that. And a couple of them actually did have magic cards, which was really cool. So one of them just had some booster packs that they probably got from another store like Walmart or something like that. And then one was actually a person that played Magic, and he had a bunch of Pokemon cards, but we kept asking him, hey, do you have any magic cards? And he said, oh yeah, I have some. And then he would come back the next week and he'd forget to bring the magic cards, and so we'd ask him again, and eventually he brought some magic cards and we bought some off of him. But then one other vendor that we found there just had some binders with some cards in there, and they were even some old cards. Not a lot of great cards, but it was cool to just see some old cards from the 90s in a binder, and so I bought a couple off of them. And so back to my question, is it worth your time to go to all these places and look for magic cards? Maybe if you end up hitting it big, but obviously I didn't hit it big off of going to all these different thrift stores and all these other places until just barely. I think it was last week I went to a store and a guy asked me, he was like, hey, can I tempt you with one of these mystery boxes? And I was like, what are you talking about, mystery boxes? And he showed me it was just these white card boxes, maybe 800 cards fit in it or 600 or something like that. And he was like, yeah, these mystery boxes I'm selling for 30 bucks. And I was like, do you know what's inside or where they came from or anything? And he was like, no, not really. He's like, but yeah, if you want to try your luck, it's 30 bucks. And so I was like, yeah, okay, well, I'll try it. And so I bought one of the boxes, and I was with my sister and my son, and we were like, yeah, we'll just try one and then we'll keep going because we had some errands to run, whatever. So we went out to the car and we opened it up, and when I opened it up, it looked like all the cards inside the box were new. And so I was like, oh, dang it. It's probably not old cards for sure. And if it's all new cards, then it's probably just like bulk commons or whatever. But I started looking at them and I looked up some of the cards that were in there, and it was a whole bunch, like stacks of the same cards. So maybe 3 or 4 different cards, but like hundreds of them in this box. And so I started looking them up, and at first I was kind of sad because I was like, oh man, it is probably like bulk commons or uncommons or whatever. But I looked them up and they were actually worth like $1 to $3 a piece. And I was like, okay, calculate that out. If there's 600 or 800 cards here times at least $1 a piece, I was like, man, this is actually a really good find. And so we actually went back in. I got one more box and my son got a box, and I called up my brother and was like, hey, these mystery boxes that I found are pretty cool and we got some good cards in there. And so he went back later that day and got a couple boxes, and he ended up pulling something really cool. I actually met up with him and we opened up one of his boxes, and inside there was a whole stack of secret layer pathways, which was really cool. So finally, after like half a year of searching all these different places, we finally got a good deal and it worked out. And I've been buy listing a lot of my cards to Card Kingdom, and so far I haven't even buy listed like half of them yet, and I'm already up to like $800 something worth of credit. So it definitely worked out for me. It probably still is not worth all the time that I've spent going to all these different places and driving everywhere and spending money on gas, and probably wasn't worth it. But again, me and my son, we like going to different places. We like searching for things. We like finding other things like books and clothes and toys and whatever. And so for me, honestly, it is worth it. And I enjoy hunting for these deals and hunting for these cards. And when we finally do find something, it makes it that much more worth it and that much more enjoyable. But so again, to answer my own question, it's probably not worth it unless you enjoy the experience and the journey. And for me, it is worth it. And it kind of worked out in the end. And I'm glad that I was able to find some cards that now I'm turning into credit at Card Kingdom. And so another question I would ask you guys is, what should I spend my credit on now? I think I'm going to use a little bit of it to buy some booster packs from my booster pack collection. I'm trying to collect one of each booster pack from each set all the way back to the 90s. And I've got a long way to go, but I'm starting to put a dent in it at least. But if you guys have other ideas on what I should use my credit on, should I save up for a Power 9 card? Should I use it to just get a whole bunch of packs and have a chaos draft? Should I buy singles? Like, I'd love to hear what you guys think and let me know in the comments. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed watching this video. And make sure you like this video. That really helps with the algorithm. And I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, bye.